Now, Throne of Liberty, one of the must needed resources is going to be your gold, or in this case as they call it in this game, Sollant. I was pretty safe in the knowledge that I would have enough of this, because even once I'd completed the main storyline, my character was sitting at around about 4.5 million Sollant, and after playing for about a week later, I'd managed to accrue almost 20 million in total. I was sitting pretty, and honestly thought that this currency wouldn't really be a problem.
Right? Wrong.
However, this quickly changed when I started upgrading. I started using some of the endgame gear, and pretty much everything takes away this resource, and Sollant can go very quickly. In fact, checking on my character screen, I'm now down to 10 million, whereas before this I had around about 26. Pretty much everything you do in the game revolving around upgrading or keeping your character in check is going to dwindle this resource down. Whether it be upgrading weapons, creating your skill books, deconstructing those skill books, or some of the really expensive stuff like trying to make your armour and weapon purple precious growth stones. This racks up massively for your gold, so you're going to want a few ways to get hold of it, and the best ways to keep this currency at a good amount for all times. So one of the fastest and easiest ways to do this is by doing some of your contracts. You get 10 contracts per day, and try and complete these in some of the later end stages such as the Pure Light Tower, as they're going to work out the most bang for your buck. What you're going to want to do, however, to do these efficiently is to try and get as many in the same vicinity as possible, so you're doing them quite fast. Purchase one of them, and then you're going to want to refresh after each purchase. This is going to give you the most chance to get hold of those purple precious patches that can really help you out with some items, scrolls, and just make your life a whole bunch easier in general. As well as this though, every time you're refreshing, make sure you're looking for the higher tier contracts, so anything above 1, as they're going to give you more gold overall when you to rack it up very fast. Try to complete your 10 daily contracts and you're going to have netted yourself 750,000 gold as a minimum, but you can easily get yourself much more than that if you're getting those tier 2 contracts and above. Over to another absolutely amazing way of getting Sollant, and this time we're going to be going to our open world dungeons and just kind of ploughing through the enemies and trying to rack up a whole bunch of this money in the process. Obviously there's quite a few dotted around, so you can go to whichever ones you like, but try and find one that's going to give you the most enemies that you can tackle at one time. A few of the nice dungeons seems to be the Silius Abyss, as well as the Shadowed Crypt, as long as it's not being farmed by too many people, but if you can, I found by far and away the best. Once you've got your guild leveled up a little bit and you've unlocked this area, go all the way down the bottom of the map here and go to the Soradona Island. This has an abundance of enemies that you can group up, and in the right team you can be racking up an absolute abundance of money this way, really setting yourself up good for quite some time. Remember, every time you can group with someone, it's going to make things a whole bunch easier, and when you are defeating those enemies, because it's going to be boosted by the abyssal tokens just up the top here, you're going to get an enhanced version of all of the loot you're given, including again the Sollant currency. Another nice and easy way is by going over to your battle pass and completing as much of that as possible, or going over to the Zenith Star Shop. There's also some more Sollant in there to purchase if you wanted to. Remember though, this currency does get you some nice stuff in here, so you will have to decide whether or not you want it, but if you're in a bit of a bind and you need it fast, this might be one way to grab it really quickly. But another great way that I never really see anyone talking about is also by purchasing your abundant fruit. They do cost 50, so they are quite expensive, but they're absolutely amazing for what they do, as they give you a 30% Sollant bonus for 1 hour, and because they're food, they also persist through death. If you're going to purchase these, I would say the better choice is to go for the 5-pack. 5 abundance fruit is going to cost you 180 of those star tokens, and honestly they're a great choice to have that you can just bank, use at any time when you've got a lot of abyssal contract tokens built up, and then you can pop them and absolutely go to town trying to make a lot of gold. Another way to boost up your gold, which is probably something you'll be doing daily anyway, is going to be by doing your Coop Dungeons. You're going to want to decide which dungeon you want to partake in. Mainly though, you will be doing these for the rewards. Obviously if you get something nice, you'll be able to either equip it or deconstruct it, or even sell it on the auction house if it's something that can make some loot for you. But the good thing about this as well, when you're running these dungeons, you're also going to be rewarded with a little bit of currency, so you'll be able to get yourself some additional Sollant whenever you're completing the dungeon. When you're taking down the boss, you're going to be rewarded with the chest, and every time you open this up, you're going to get yourself a nice bit of Sollant, roughly between 50 or 60,000 if my memory serves me right, and even though this isn't the fastest way in the game, it is something you'll probably be doing pretty much every day, so it just serves as a little booster for you. Jumping over from loads of fighting and just destroying enemies, and this time we're going to be looking at something that's a little bit more laid back, and that's going to be our Amatoi expeditions, or namely our Amatoi. I didn't realise about this at the start, but sending out your Amatois is absolutely amazing because it's going to bring you back some really vital resources, so do this whenever you can. and even if you can't do it very often, just chuck them on 8 hours. That way at least you'll be completing it once a day and getting yourself some nice rewards. However, one thing you will want to focus on if you can is trying to get as many Amatoi as possible, because these actually give you additional bonuses overall. If we go over to our list here, you're going to see that when you get certain Amatoi, it's going to unlock some of these right here, and they can be really handy. Everything from XP bonuses, Sollant bonuses, Abyssal contract token efficiency, which just means you'll be able to last longer in those open dungeons and grab yourself even more gold, resources, and of course hopefully some lucky drops with that gear. There are quite a few of these Amatoi to unlock. I have gone absolutely nowhere near trying to unlock them yet, but whenever you do want to, you're just going to go over to them, have a little look, and then you can go to their info in order to see exactly what you need to achieve unlocking them. Some of them tend to pair up really nicely and give you some additional rewards, so it's something you'll definitely want to look into if you want to be getting the most out of everything in this game and making everything a little bit easier further down the line. And one that I didn't realise was actually as good as it was, and that's going to be your cooking. I have invested absolutely nothing in this, but if we go down to Stoneguard Castle and we look for one of the cooking ovens, which is the symbol just like this. Also, one of these is straight in your guild base, so if you're with a guild you can teleport there and do this as well. But honestly, if you're thinking about investing a lot of time in Throne of Liberty, I think cooking is definitely going to be a life skill you'll want to start investing in. Some of the food gives you some nice buffs, it gives you additional stats, makes things easier for your character, such as max health or a little bit of extra damage or even defense. But some are absolutely amazing and a lot better than I realised, such as the golden apple pie and the crab meat pie. These ones give you some crazy good bonuses, such as extra mastery, extra abyssal token efficiency, allowing you to be in those open world dungeons for a little bit longer, and of course with the crab pie, it's going to give you that Sollant bonus of 50%. This works out amazing. Pop it before you're going in and using all of your abyssal contract tokens, and especially when you've racked up quite a few of them, because this persists after death and because it can last up to an hour, means you can grab yourself a whole bunch of gold very fast. Finally, one that is well worth knowing about, especially in those clutch situations. If you've got a bit of Lucent on you, and remember I have brought a guide out for that recently, so if you need to know how to get hold of Lucent quite nicely, then that's up on the channel now if you need it. If you've got a bit of Lucent on you, then grabbing yourself a few precious gems is definitely worth knowing about, if you really find yourself needing some of that Solent. Of course, these are necessary for quite a few things of your crafting, so decide whether or not you want to keep hold of these, or if you want to buy them from the auction house, and of course you may well have even found these from the dungeon drops when you've been doing them earlier. But all in all, the best ones are going to be your precious Marind. These are going to work out absolutely amazing, and depending on your server price, may well be worth grabbing hold of these from time to time just to boost up some of your gold. The ones on my server are currently around about 6.5 Lucent each, but if we sell these to a merchant, they're actually going for 432,000. That is crazy good, meaning for just over 20 Solent, I'm going to be able to get myself a little over 1.2 million in gold. Well worth knowing, well worth doing if you are in a tricky situation, and even though this isn't really a free way because it is the kind of pay to win currency, it's quite easily achievable to get quite a fair amount of this, and for how much gold you get with this, it's one way I'll definitely use from time to time. But yeah, all in all, hopefully let's help a few of you guys and girls out. As always, for all things gaming, take care. I'll see you on the next day.